Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and welcome to a very exciting exclusive edition of Friday's dceu Daily. Yes, a while back I was flown over to Paris, France to see a test screening of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. This now means that I've seen the Flash movie and the Aquaman sequel, which also means I have a pretty good idea about how Walter Hamada's multiverse strategy is supposed to play out, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. But first things first, let me try and inform you without any spoilers about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So first of all, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Amber Heard. Amber Heard is in this movie for just over half an hour. So yes, Warner Brothers Pictures, not Discovery by the way, Warner Brothers Pictures are insisting that Amber Heard remains in this movie and that Ezra Miller remains as the lead in the Flash movie, despite the other day some very serious accusations coming from somebody's parent that they're alleging Ezra Miller has known their daughter since she was 12 years old and is manipulating this child, keeps her phone, lots of different disturbing pieces of alleged information. It's no surprise to me then that yesterday we saw a video of Andy and Barbara Machete standing over Benjamin Wilshaw, the composer of the Flash movie, playing a piano. Don't forget, Andy Machete hasn't posted or anything about this film, and all of a sudden, a day after these controversial alleged information comes out, Andy Machete and Barbara are standing by the composer of this movie. How convenient. It isn't going to work, guys. But anyway, Warner Brothers Pictures are very well aware that involving these problematic people in these movies will mean that this film will not make a lot of money. So Amber Heard is in this film, and she's as good in this film as she was in the first film. I liked her in the first film, and I liked her in this film, right? She does a solid job. Whatever I think about how she's treated Johnny Depp and how she conducts herself, in terms of the film, she's a very, very good mirror. No question about that. This film's ultimate sin is it pretends to be something new and different, but really it's doing the same thing it did in the first movie. I loved the first movie. It's one of my favourite CBMs of all time. Let's not get it twisted. So what they do is they take Mira out of the situation they had her in the first movie and swap her with Orm. This is kind of a road movie, if you like. It's basically, and I think I can say this because it's pretty much out there, this is a movie, this is a road movie, this is a buddy comedy, if you like, between Orm and Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman. There's a lot more humour in this film. This film is a lot lighter than the first film. Lots of people have been accusing the DCEU of trying to copy and paste the MCU since Walter Hamada has taken over. But for me, Walter Hamada and even Joss Whedon with Justice League have misunderstood what the MCU is. It has humour and lots of it. Sometimes badly placed humour, but ultimately it has a story and they have good things happening in their movies. And I think there's a misunderstanding about what the MCU is from Walter Hamada. And even when we look at the Black Adam trailer, and we'll be talking about the reactions to that trailer at the end of the video, you can see they're trying to go MCU humorish, but again, they've misunderstood what the MCU is. So this film, at its core, is a road movie, buddy comedy between Orm and Arthur Curry. Does this element work? It kind of works, yes. It does work. The film looks terrific. The action is very proficient. I'll give them that. The other side of this movie is Black Manta, and they really try and kind of reform this character and try and, make us empathize with the character. They try and evolve his character. He spends a lot of time kind of out of the kind of Black Manta helmet. They want us to see his face. They want him to be seen. So that's a very, very interesting element of this movie. Do I like this film as much as I like the first film? No, I don't. Because I feel I was being sold a lemon, because it literally is exactly the same movie as the first one. Now, don't forget, he is now king of Atlantis. So you need an evolution here. And I didn't feel this evolution. It tries to skirt the issue of him being king. And, you know, On does some very, very bad things in the first movie. And it just feels that we're kind of not covering that. Yes, they talk about what he did. But I just feel that this maybe wasn't the right way to go about this movie. I found the plot very, very weak. As I say, the action is great. But yeah, I think this is typical of where we're going. I did promise I would talk about the multiverse strategy. Well, the multiverse strategy isn't covered in this film. Now, considering this film now isn't released until, well, actually this film is released before the Flash movie, which is supposed to begin the multiverse strategy. We'll talk about that later on. But originally, if I remember rightly, this film was going to be released after the Flash movie. It was going to be released in December, like the previous movie was, and they changed their minds because they didn't have anything to release for 2023, so they changed their schedules. Utterly embarrassing for Warner Brothers Pictures and Toby Emmerich. So I think this film is in a little bit of trouble. Obviously, the Amber Heard situation doesn't help the situation either. But I do feel there's a weakness within this movie, and I don't know if there's going to be reshoots or if there's going to be some rewrites here. But I do feel they've missed a trick. I don't feel this film has much hype behind it, even without Amber Heard in this movie. Yeah, I just feel that something's missing about this movie. It feels weaker than the first movie. And that's very, very sad for me, because I was very, very excited about going to see a test screening on this movie. But really, it just does everything it does in the first one. And I think that's where it lets itself down. Instead of trying to do something ambitious, something new, it plays it safe. I think the injection of humor in this movie is also a big mistake. There were lots of serious, dark moments, you know, in the first movie. And let's look at the MCU as well, by the way. You look at the last MCU movie, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That is darker than any Walter Hamada movie. It's darker than Justice League. It's darker than Aquaman. It's darker than Shazam. Much darker than Wonder Woman 84, and darker than Birds of Prey, and much darker than James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. It seems that the dceu is trying to go lighter, and Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios are saying, fuck that shit, we've been there, we're going to go a bit darker. And, you know, whatever you want to say about the MCU, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is a very dark movie, and there's no question about that. And so that's interesting to me, that they're trying to copy and paste phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 of the MCU, while the MCU is saying, no, we've done that now, let's go darker. I think the humour is going to hurt this movie. I think there's an issue with pacing. Of course, this is a test screening. That could change within more editing and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't feel the epic vibes within this movie like I did within the first movie as well. So it'll be very interesting. Now, of course, we all are eager to know if Amber Heard's half an hour, 30 minutes of screen time is going to be cut totally. Are they actually going to go through with having her in this movie? Will they take her out? Will they put another mirror in? Nobody really knows. At this point, I mean, think about it. They've put both test screenings of the Flash movie and this movie with both Amber Heard and Ezra Miller in them. So from the outside looking in, it looks like they're insisting on going with these cuts of these movies that I have seen. It's insane for me. Look, listen, it's absolutely insane. I think the Ezra Miller situation is more dangerous to Warner Brothers Pictures than the Amber Heard one is, and that may make you very surprised because I know that lots of people are going to boycott Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Amber Heard, what she did to Johnny Depp is terrible and disgusting, but the alleged, accusations labelled at Ezra Miller are actually illegal and serious. And I take any accusations against children very, very seriously. So I don't want to hear anyone coming to me on this channel trying to defend that person when it comes to what he's accused of doing, to a child. Now, I don't have any evidence that any of this is true. So, of course, we have to take this with a pinch of salt. But what's going on with the DCEU is very, very serious. We started off this year with 4 movies. We were going to get 4 movies and it sounded very awesome and very epic. Now, seeing both Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and the Flash movie, it seems to me that the Flashpoint movie, in terms of the reboot, all it does is reboot Superman, turns him into Supergirl basically, and turns a 50-plus Batman in Ben Affleck into a 70-odd-year-old Batman in Michael Keaton. That's your multiverse strategy. That's your reboot, everyone. That's what it is. I can tell you that exclusively today. Having seen both of these movies, that's what the Flash movie does. Even its multiversal cameos are not that great and not that satisfying. When I first heard about this multiverse strategy and all these movies coming out, of course, I was very, very excited. And I got ahead of myself. I thought this could be an exciting, revolutionary moment for the DCEU. But I am concerned. We've seen the Black Adam trailer the other day, seeing Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and seeing the Flash movie now. I am very concerned. Even if you forget about these problematic actors, the actual films, are seriously underwhelming as far as I'm concerned. Are they made? Is there quality in these movies? Yes. Is the VFX amazing? Yes. Are the performances great? Yes. Yes. There's a lot of things to say. I like these movies, but ultimately these movies are inconsistent within their 3 acts, and they are somewhat underwhelming. And neither of these movies are billion-dollar movies either. And that is my view about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It's pretty much the same movie. Instead of Arthur spending all his time with Mera, he spends it with Orm, and they do exactly the same things, but they take the romantic element out of it, of course. Now, did I feel emotional at times when Orm and Arthur are traveling together? Yes, I did. There were some good emotional beats there. But it's nothing I haven't felt within an episode of Smallville or a great episode of Arrow or The Flash. Simply, everyone, this isn't enough. And these movies are going to lose money. It is my opinion, and you may not like it, controversial or not. I believe Black Adam, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and The Flash movie will all lose money. And that is my belief. And, for me, that is so sad. As a huge DC fan, these characters in these universes have so much potential, and we just are not being serviced enough. You can't have a DC Extended Universe without an OG Superman. You can't have a DC Extended Universe with a 70-year-old Batman. You're all looking forward to seeing Keaton, and what Keaton does in the Flash movie is amazing, but it doesn't salvage everything else they do within that movie. You can't be swapping Ben Affleck for Michael Keaton. Doesn't make any sense. Of course, there's another problem. The reason they have 2 problems and why they had to do this is because there was an issue with Ben Affleck continuing, and they've got a brand new younger Batman in Matt Reeves, the Batman universe, which is a problem as well. So yes, I have seen Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and there are my faults. I found it a very underwhelming, middling, well-made movie, and that's a shame. Now, there's an article here where I want to read, because this is people reacting to the Black Adam trailer. The first trailer for Dwayne Johnson's superhero film Black Adam has arrived and fans appear to be mostly disappointed. The actor plays the titular character in the DC Comics movie, starring opposite Pierce Brosnan, Noah Centineo, Aldis Hodge, and Quintessa Swindell. Black Adam follows the story of Johnson's character after he is freed from his earthly tomb nearly 5,000 years after he was bestowed with the powers of an Egyptian god. He is then ready to unleash his unique form of justice on the modern world. Johnson unveiled the trailer in a Twitter post shared on Wednesday, 8th of June, but fans have expressed their dismay over the clip. Today's Black Adam trailer was released and now my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined, one person wrote. And you know what? After I finished doing my reaction vid and I was uploading my video, I was feeling the same way. It wasn't that what I saw was terrible, but I expected so much more and I felt underwhelmed and I felt unsure if this movie was going to be any good. Another said the Black Adam colour palette is 2010s. I want it to be good so bad, but seeing that film style is telling me it's not. Someone else agreed about the trailer's colour palette, writing everything looks so good except the colour of the movie. Why so yellow? By the way, I never noticed colour palettes. I am a director, but they're not. When I watch a movie, that's not what I'm looking for. So complaints about colour palettes are irrelevant to me. Black Adam, about to be the next Morbius, commented a fourth person in reference to the universally panned Jared Leto superhero film that was released earlier this year. The Black Adam trailer started off so well that it crashed and burned right in front of my face. Someone else said, after watching the Black Adam trailer, I can safely say I'm over comic book movies and 110%. Wow. Others have been less critical of the trailer, with one person writing, I'm not sure how I feel about this, a little disappointed, maybe. Black Adam is best when he's sinister and a bit terrifying. Exactly. I'll give it a chance and I'm easy to please, but there is just something about it that doesn't feel right. And I felt exactly the same way as this. Now please let me know if you felt like I do and how this guy did as well, because I think this is very interesting now. During a CinemaCon appearance in April, Johnson told the crowd that he had been working on the film for more than a decade. The whole idea was, if we were going to do it, we were going to take our time and do it right, he said. It really served us well to wait and hold and watch these other stories and superheroes unfold. Black Adam is one of the things in my life that gets me out of bed. Now it's interesting, you know, because he does talk well, The Rock, and you kind of want to fight for him and all of that. But sometimes I feel he's just talking words and he's a salesman, because when we look at The Rock's movie career, most of his movies are okay. He's got some very big hits. He's got some underwhelming hits that didn't do so well at the box office. He's never really done something that I would say, wow, this guy's amazing. You know, even Arnold Schwarzenegger's got a couple of movies in his pantheon of movies I could say, wow, The Running Man, Total Recall. The Rock has got nothing on that level. I was expecting so much more out of this trailer, and like these people, I was very, very disappointed. And finally today, I want to talk about the Joker sequel. I want to respond to people saying we don't need a Joker sequel. I want to respond to people saying we don't need a new Harley Quinn. First of all, we didn't need an Iron Man 2, we got it. And we got an Iron Man 3 and we got Tony Stark in multiple MCU movies. You could say we never need a sequel anywhere. This was billed as a standalone film. I understand, but Todd Phillips also had the idea, the concept of doing a live-action Black Label universe where he focuses on a villain at a time. It looks like in the Joker sequel, the next villain they're going to focus on is Harley Quinn, and I'm going to tell you why we're desperately in need of a brand new actor to play Harley Quinn. In my opinion, Margot Robbie has only felt like Harley in the first Suicide Squad movie, and that was a much maligned, interfered with movie from the studio. So that says a lot. But I haven't really felt Harley in the other movies, and let's not forget her, you know, her portrayal in the first Suicide Squad movie, a Suicide Squad movie that made a lot of money. By the way, probably because the Joker's involved in it. Everything the Joker's involved in within media does very well. The Dark Knight, you know, the first Batman, Batman 89, you know, if the Joker's in it, it does really, really well. So I believe this is a Joker sequel, continuing the story of Arthur Fleck, but he will meet Harley Quinn. Now, apparently he wanted another actress to be in it, but the studio want Lady Gaga. I'm comfortable with Gaga doing it. I'm not so sure if that's their final choice. If it is announced that Lady Gaga is playing Harley Quinn, look, the whole world's going to go fucking insane. I mean, you're going to have Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix as Harley Quinn and the Joker. I mean, come on. That's huge. Now, what kind of storyline can be implemented? We last saw Arthur Fleck basically murder a psychiatrist and run away, but I don't think he escaped Arkham Asylum. So we could start this film off like in the comic books, where Harley Quinn is his psychiatrist. So that's going to be a very interesting take. So surely eventually they would escape the asylum, but it's going to be interesting to see how this develops, because the title of this movie, and I forgot it now, means basically multiple madness or something like that, or the madness of two people or the madness of more than one person. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, something like that. So maybe Harley Quinn isn't in this movie, and maybe the Joker has a dual personality. That means you could implement Willem Dafoe's concept of having a fake Joker, having a story with two Jokers, one being the real Joker and one being the fake Joker. But think about this for a minute. What if Joaquin Phoenix is the fake Joker and Willem Dafoe is the real Joker? Now that would be a very interesting thing. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out, but it's the one project that I'm actually excited about. I was saying that before Joker 2 was officially announced about Black Adam. But after seeing the trailer, all I saw confirmed to me, as well as seeing Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and the Flash movie, is that the DC Extended Universe is in a lot of trouble. The studio have made movies that they have to release, and that's problematic because this will give them a worse reputation than ever before. They're about to release two movies with two problematic individuals, and people are going to boycott said movies. So people will say you have to release them because they made the movies. They spent money on the budgets of said movies. But if you're going to lose so much money and basically embarrass your platform, you know, even more than you already have, is it worth releasing said movies? This has been the DCEU Daily with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. Until we see each other again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.